Dun, 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 dun. Wait, do like a onomatopoeia of the guitar sting.
I forgot it.
Oh, okay.
Boom, 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 boom. Today on Platypus World.
Oh, I like that. Turning on the NPR voice.
Yeah, the NPR voice.
Well, first of all, hello and welcome to Platypus World. This is just kind of like a glimpse into our twisted, kind of fucked up,
Not like the other girls.
not like the other girls' reality.
Where we wear Cookie Monster sweatpants with a hot top.
We wear Cookie Monster sweatpants. We wear white sneakers that are really filthy and gross.
Yeah.
We fend off DMs from boys.
And
with
we do
names
have
like
the
Zach.
angel bites.
You say we have ankle bites?
Angel bites. With
Oh.
piercing. Come on.
Oh my god.
And today we're
bringing
be
those
discussing...
Well, we should maybe introduce ourselves, don't you think?
No.
Clack.
They don't fucking care.
That's true.
No, we can do that.
Who I am isn't important. What is important is what I'm about to do.
That is, go to Sbarro and eat 3 slices of very greasy pizza and have diarrhea in the ball.
That'll really grease the old axle. It's like that New York airport pizza.
Oh, God. That was so bad.
Just like a puddle of oil.
That was like, if I had never been as sure that I died and been in limbo.
Well, I almost missed the plane because I was like
shitting?
pooping my guts out. Yeah.
Well, it's actually probably better that you missed the plane and like had to...
Yeah, I always worry about that. Like, if you have to go to the bathroom during the pre-flight like boarding process, like the second you get on the plane, that's when you have to poop.
No, you can't. Yeah,
you can't be in there during takeoff.
You're in there for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh, sorry, folks, we just hit a seagull, so we gotta fucking hold a eulogy now and take another 10 hours to lift off." Anyway, context: we're brothers. My name is Alex.
I'm Eric.
Oh yeah, real names. Track our ISP as we speak. Our voices aren't really similar, I guess.
Distinct enough.
Distinct enough
to be intelligible while we talk about children killing cowboys.
Children should kill cowboys, and that's what we're going to discuss today.
They're morally obligated to kill cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, cowboys represent, like, toxic masculinity.
Exactly.
And so, I do wonder if, like, cowboy, like, media and culture has taken a sharp decline, like, as Gen Z comes along. Like, cowboys are problematic, because, like...
Well, it was actually its own... If I remember right, it was like its own genre, like westerns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it was a section of all movies were westerns.
Yeah, it was like Marvel movies back in the day. Like
that's a funny way to think about it.
I've heard that comparison a lot between like superhero movies and westerns. As in, like people say, like, "Oh, they're gonna die just like westerns died." And yeah, maybe, but I mean, how long were westerns around for?
Probably.
We still get the occasional one. I don't know. But anyway, I think cowboys have a negative connotation because it's like, what's the classic game that little rapscallions in the 50s would play and say bang and shoot like cap guns at each other. Cowboys and Indians. That already hasn't aged well.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, I think the cowboy has like... People still celebrate the cowboy, even if it's not a guy in... a hat on top of a horse. That's Die Hard, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like the lone gunman, the action movie protagonist, you know what I mean?
That's true. I mean, like, and then I guess cowboy has kind of merged into like, I guess country, like stadium country culture. Like it's cool for Lil Nas X to put on a cowboy hat and prance around at
our
elementary school. We can both say that we've played the same venue as Lil Nas X.
That's true.
That's not a lie.
Yeah, you were the Cantina band.
Oh god. Yeah, I dressed up like the aliens from Star Wars and pranced around with an aluminum foil. I'm not kidding. Aluminum foil instrument.
I remember that.
The crazy part is I was gonna do it by myself, but then
last minute
I got a lovely fellow to join me. Brandon, if you're out there, you're a real one. I looked him up a while ago, and he got into, like, powerlifting, dude.
Really?
He's, like, jacked as fuck now. Anyway, he was a cool dude. But, yeah, pranced around while they played the Cantina band song from Star Wars and pretended like we were the ones playing
Very talented.
And the mayor was there for some reason.
They really didn't have anything better.
What a weird... Yeah, they really... The mayor... That's like being the queen, like, being the mayor of, like, a small town. It's like... how much of your job is just like showing up for pageantry events? Like,
Exactly.
I don't know.
It's very weird, especially the whole the English crown and that persisting and how people still are paying attention to that for some fucking reason.
Well, it's interesting now because with like the coronation of King Charles, there were a lot of people protesting and being like, even
No
the
one gives
English
a fuck.
people
That's
don't have any pride for it
They
anymore.
still pay taxes for the royals, though.
Yeah, I mean, pay taxes so they can they can have like legendary
around.
gear.
So King Charles
So they can have the plus 10 catalyst.
Open the legendary Fabergé egg that was robbed from some Normans in 1100.
Yeah. Add it to your collection of priceless artifacts looted from Africa.
Yeah.
Oh yes, all in day's work.
He's got the headset on and stuff.
Yeah.
He's just clicking rapidly. He's like, yes, the Norman Fabergé egg, nice. It just opens, it's a little animation. The next thing is like, there's a box opening again. It's like the Rainbow Six packet. There's like a priceless artifact from Egypt. It's like, yes, Egyptian pharaoh headdress. Nice.
What is
Let's
like
fucking go.
what is European royalty if not like one big gotcha game for the
Anyways, taking that back to the mayor.
mayor?
Taking that
Mayor
back to
of
Little
Mayfield.
Lost Axe, taking that back to Cowboys.
Yeah.
What we're
I
talking
feel like
about
there was
today.
another. I feel like there was another path I wanted to go down somewhere that chain, but oh well, lost to time. Oh,
Time
I just
is-
wanted to mention that the music that the Cantina band plays in Star Wars is called Jizz canonically.
This is future Alex just chiming in to say that yes, we do know that the kind folks over at Disney have since the recording of this episode changed Jizz to be called Jats in universe, and we refuse to acknowledge or accept that.
Yeah, that's right.
And there's a page for it on Wikipedia where they have to like take that seriously.
Was jizz like? Did that not fucking mean jizz in 1970?
Yeah, I don't know
Like when
like,
did he write that down? Like was that in the liner notes of his screenplay? It's like the music, the type of music they're playing is called jizz.
Okay, I don't think George Lucas himself gave that.
Does
name.
George Lucas not know what jizz is? That's
like
that's a
either
possibility
version-
that I like to entertain the most.
Yeah, I don't think he's human, to be honest.
It's like
I think
jazz,
Star
like
Wars is an
church.
autobiography for him. Like, I genuinely feel like that dude is like a time traveler from another galaxy or something.
I could see it.
And that's why he wrote it all as like taking place a long time ago.
If that's true, his neck is definitely some kind of organ that has like perhaps like a mating function.
Yeah, like inflates like a big
Skull,
balloon.
exactly, like the lizard.
You ever seen that movie Vivarium? They're like weird little kid in there. His neck inflates like a big like glowy ball sack. And he shrieks. That's what he does to attract a mate.
I'm picturing the Dark Souls, like the death lizard.
Oh yeah, the basilisks. Yeah. Yeah,
He
they
does
blow
that,
right
and
up.
then like terrible ideas come out.
I may have went a bit overboard in some places.
I may have dialed up the Jar Jar a little
The
bit.
Jar Jar. He dialed it back. He reined in the Jar Jar in the later ones, but
Yeah. There's a pet fan theory that he's like the most evil Sith Lord of all.
yeah, I've heard that. Well, he's like
I haven't heard any support.
the way he gets through situation. Like Jar Jar is just like one of those characters whose power is to just be lucky. Like he's like a klutz, but it works.
So you're
out.
saying he's like undercover, and everyone in the
He's doing it intentionally.
Sith side knows that he's like an asset. So they won't shoot him. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, he could be another clone of Darth Sidious, right from the beginning.
Yeah, that's true.
That was just like planted to cause this butterfly effect of things. I don't know. The Star Wars universe is silly,
It is.
and the people who take it seriously are very silly.
People get so into it, dog.
It's true. They're like, Jizz is a cool name for a music genre.
I don't think I've ever encountered anyone who.
I feel like it was some
diehard-
novelist who originally wrote that, probably. Like in the novelization of episode 4 or whatever, they were like, yes,
Oh,
they
I
were
forgot
playing
that.
Jizz. And they were like, I need the word jazz to sound Star Warsy, but I'm an
Exactly.
incel and I don't know what Jizz is. So, what do you think I'm referring to? Could you mean semen?
The only context they have is just like the health book or like the health talk they had for like 20 minutes.
The gym teacher, like, rubbed the back of his head and was like, okay, kid.
Yeah, right. Well, why don't you move along?
Yeah, anyway, birds
Go
of the
play
bees.
your Yu-Gi-Oh.
You know, sometimes in football, you want to score, but
Things get a little crazy in the locker room.
you shouldn't score before you're ready for marriage. Sports metaphor.
What I'm saying is wear a condom. It's a condom.
No, they would not say wear a condom. They would say a condom. They would say abstinence only.
That's what I got in
Yeah.
high school.
Well, it's funny because it always felt like they had to dance around that because they would be like, we're not going to tell you what to do, but we brought in this super cool guys to tell you what they think. And it's like, hey, kids, don't have sex or you're going to get pregnant and AIDS and die.
Right, yeah, it's not you're going to go to hell. It's more like, yeah, what you're saying.
Yeah. I remember, I have a very vivid memory of being in like one of those health classes where they were having that talk. And they picked like, I think like the autistic kid and like the most popular girl. And they like paraded them up in front of the class. And they had them both take Play-Doh in their hands and be like, okay, now mash your Play-Doh together. And they like mashed their Play-Doh together and it was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever felt. And then they're like, now take it back. And it's like, now see how their Play-Doh is all mixed up in one another? And then they brought up like a different girl. Like, now you mash your Play-Dohs together. And it's like, see how now it's even more messy? I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, what do you think sex is? Do you think it's like this Avatar, like spirit bonding? Where, like, you just like fuse and unfuse?
You downloaded her malware.
That bitch.
You now have Bonzi Buddy.
Hello, user.
Oh.
Looks like your
Looks
red blood cells are a little different shaped.
That's it. You're talking about sickle-cell anemia. That's not an STI.
It could be if you tried hard enough.
I don't think that's like a genetic thing. I'm 90% sure.
Well, when your Play-Doh gets mashed up, all sorts of things can happen.
All sorts of fun things can happen. Your T cells could get all fucked up.
Your T cells, your G cells,
Your G cells,
even your F cells, even your in cells,
incels, very good.
all fucked up.
Nice.
Anyways, going
Cowboys.
back,
It's like we were talking about.
Cowboys, like we were saying, you know.
Our topic of conversation.
Our
for
topic
today.
of conversation. So, for this season of Platypus World,
First season.
we are doing a
Hypothetical
battles, you could say.
of many kinds.
Many different types of battles. Some battle of wit, some battle of charisma, but most of them are just fights, let's be real.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
that's the easiest. Anyway.
Scratchy.
We love our...
And fight, and fight, and fight.
They fight and fight. Daddy, what's that red stuff coming out of the cat's ears? That was such a specific line for them to say. Why ears?
I don't know.
Anyway.
But we're talking about
Cowboys versus 8th graders. Not aliens. Although they may be aliens.
They're alien to us now.
Yeah, that's true. Four little zoo. Here's our scenario. So picture this: open desert plain. The sun was hot, the air was dry, all that good stuff from the America song. Oh yeah, that one too. Elsewhere, 4 8th graders, unassuming little 8th graders. Well, I guess they're not little. The hormones are raging by that point.
The red
You're starting to get into drugs by then. And they really want to get out of a test, so they wish that they could be anywhere else.
Maybe they're army brass or something.
One of them is like the weird like military nut kid.
Oh, there's a military.
There's one weird military, but nobody likes him.
Okay.
You have to keep that in mind.
So they won't listen to his directions.
Probably not.
Is the implication.
Yeah. So 4 of these kids, they get like magically apparated as the monkey's paw curls, and they get out of the test, but they wake up inside the chassis of an M1 Abrahms fighting tank. The tank of choice for the U.S. Army for, I think, a long time now. I think it's been around. Yeah, it's been around since 1980.
Oh, 19.
So, a very tried and true, tested battle vehicle in the middle of this desert. Meanwhile, around the corner, 25 of the roughest, toughest, most rapscallion, mean cowboys you ever did see riding past, and they see this horrific... I guess they would think it as like a train with a big gun on it. Like a weird train with a big gun on it appears
Looky there.
on their land. Yonder steaming. It's like some kind of demon. So anyway,
It's got a funny stick coming at it.
rules of engagement. Each of the 25 cowboys has a horse, a repeating rifle,
Okay.
and a revolver. So lever action rifle, single action revolver. They each got one of those, right? And a horse, more importantly.
So I'm seeing here a range of like 1,000 yards for some of those.
Yeah,
that's a range, but not necessarily like accurate range.
Right, that sounds about right. That's probably the absolute like furthest distance you could expect.
Oh, here we are. Okay, so some people could routinely drop targets at distances up to 500 yards. So let's just say that's their accurate range that they can.
If one of the
send a little zoomer back to
the pasture over yonder. Yeah, so
bad on this part.
In addition to that, between them, they'll have one bundle of TNT, like
dynamite,
old fashioned, like that old dynamite that was probably like peanut butter and sawdust all mixed up, like the early stuff.
Nice.
So they only got one bundle between them.
It's still probably enough to like kill someone through shock if they put it right on the tank.
I don't know.
I would say so, probably.
I don't know about that. I mean, the tank, it's built to withstand a lot more than just small arms fire. Maybe if you put it in the right place, I think. But anyway, so scenario, Cowboys see the tank, 8th graders appear in the tank. We'll assume the tank is already running and everything's loaded and ready to go. Can the 8th graders either drive away the Cowboys or even survive? Or can the Cowboys successfully send the 8th grade Zoomers back to whence they came?
So let's
have them taking that good old SAT in the sky.
Watching Tim Tams up in heaven.
When a cowboy trades his spurs for wings.
When a
zoomer trades his hoverboard for wings. Yeah.
The wings in that instance are actual chicken wings. Dang. I think so. We 8th graders, we rag on them a lot, but I think
they deserve
8th graders, they have functional intelligence. They're basically
they're smarter than you probably
they're capable, think. You know what I mean? They can do a lot of stuff.
Do you think they can figure out a tank is the big question.
So
there's 4 of them, and I'll refresh you on the different crew positions that a tank has. You got a driver, self-explanatory. They drive the thing. You got the loader, whose job it is to reload the gun and put the shell in before it fires its stuff.
I feel like... Go on, sorry.
You've got the gunner, which turns the big turret and fires the big thing when it's ready. And then you've got the captain or commander, which is just kind of the leader that observes everything and gives the orders, essentially.
Okay, so gunner is machine gunner.
No, like the turret gunner. Any one of these guys could probably pop out and man one of the machine guns.
Okay, so let's just say that the 4th person is in the machine gun.
Yeah, you could.
So I think they are not... I feel like figuring out how to turn the tank, I think that's relatively intuitive. I feel like they should be able to figure out...
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't drive like a car. It's like...
You have one yoke per,
right.
tread, if I
and you just... How much power you give it, I think, is how you turn it.
Yeah.
So driving it around probably wouldn't be too hard, and that in and of itself, honestly, might be dangerous enough. Do you think you could kill 25 cowboys and horses just by driving them?
And they go fast.
Yeah, they do go pretty... They reach a decent clip. I think there's a top speed of 55 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's faster than you would think. Everyone thinks of the World War II tanks that are going
Yeah, no. Yeah, and apparently there is... so they're 45 miles per hour, which is governed though, and apparently getting rid of that governor is really easy to remove, so... Whether or not that's on there to begin with, I guess is a matter of... We'll say the governor's on. Yeah.
They can go 45.
So 45 miles
is enough. I think in the best case, only one 8th grader could probably kill them all. But can you see outside in an M1 Abrahms?
So they kind of have I guess slits you can see through, to my understanding. And there is targeting stuff as well that's digital.
Okay.
So... There is that, but it's not obviously there's not a windshield or something obvious that, especially the Cowboys trying to look at this technology from the future to easily shoot at. I guess figuring out the driving controls, you think an 8th grader could do that by themselves?
It's a steering wheel and pedal. That's what we need to... Well, the throttle's on the side, but it's a steering wheel.
They're designed so that idiots, 18-year-olds from Arkansas can figure out how to drive them.
that got unlucky in a mall. You talk to the recruiter.
He got pounced on by the recruiter. Like,
Hey there.
you look like you got an IQ of under 80. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sure do.
So, probably not too
So
hard.
I think the 8th grader could figure that out. And like, let's say the hatch is down and like they're in the viewport.
Yeah.
And let's say that they know that they're, the Cowboys want to kill them and it's kill or be killed. You know?
Yeah.
Just to simplify that, because we're just talking about the faculties of an 8th grade.
Sure.
Right? So I think in like the right scenario, like imagine like Utah Salt Flats, right?
Yeah.
All 25 Cowboys, unlimited gas, one driver. I feel like you could run them all over.
So, the thing is, horses are pretty, like, maneuverable, though, versus a tank.
Yeah.
Especially if you're learning to drive it for the first time. It's going to be a lot of start and stop.
Right.
So I feel like if you go to just try running them over all,
They can just go on top of the tank.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then they'll be, like, poking around, trying to find, like, a way in, which one of the 8th graders may screw up and let one of the hatches open or something like that. But
the TNT is a big component.
that is...
So
I do wonder if they wouldn't try to just drop the TNT in a hatch somewhere. Like the,
Yeah.
the old Halo, like, plant
Exactly.
a grenade in the tank situation.
they just punch it a few times and it blows up.
Oh,
That's how it
easy
works.
clap, easy done.
So I looked at this Reddit post. How much damage can an RPG shot do to a modern tank? Let's just say the TNT does like about the same.
Yeah,
Right.
probably a little less.
Depends on where it hits. For example, on an Abrams tank, if the RPG hits the front of the turret, it will do nothing unless it hits the viewport or something like that. But if the Cowboy is right alongside,
I feel like they could recognize the viewport. Those tiny.
they're
little-
agile. They could be like, first they'd be like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah.
And it would just be barreling towards them. They'd probably run away. Maybe get one of them. Right? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, okay, so once they hit once Jebediah falls underneath the treads of the M1 Abrahams, they realize they need to kill it. I think they could ride alongside it, probably.
Yeah.
Well, what's
I
the top speed of a horse?
That's actually a good question. I'm gonna guess 30 miles an hour.
I think even if it's like...
What we got for top speed?
It can run up to 40 miles an hour, fuck.
Wow.
But anyways, even if it didn't, I feel like, he would just be like trying to unstick Jebediah from the treads and have to reverse. I feel like they would be able to get
Wait,
on
you're
there.
saying Jebediah is the one getting chopped up and turned into
Jebediah
Cowboy
goes-
Suey in the underneath the treads? Or is he?
Exactly.
I thought he was the one that made it on. I got
No,
all
he's the
attached
one.
to him.
He's the one who dies.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
R.I.P. Jebediah.
He was just like, before the tank appeared, he was just remarking about how it's his last, it's his last ride on
I'm
his
2
plane.
weeks from retirement.
I'm going back to, old Mary Ann and my 15 children.
Yeah.
So he dies, obviously.
Dang.
And then I feel like they might be able to get on it. They're right alongside.
That's
Filled
true.
with fury from Jebediah's
From Jebediah's
untimely
death.
demise. And they could jump on there, put the TNT on there, light
Now,
it.
within this time, can one of the kids in the turret figure out how to turn?
Okay, so
The
let's go
gun.
straight to the four kid scenario. I think in the one kid scenario, they're definitely dead.
Oh, without a question. We're saying there are 4 kids right away.
Let's say 4 kids.
One in each crew.
And let's say
position.
that there's some terrain, because like if it's the Utah Salt Flats,
maybe there's a mesa here and there.
there's a little mesa,
a butte. B-U-T-T-E.
a butte,
Butte.
a butte,
A butte. Is that how it's pronounced?
like what you are,
Oh, gee.
like what the girl reading is.
Chow noises. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so there's some terrain, because like in the Utah Salt Flats, eventually you're gonna figure out the gun. That's not too hard. Let's say that
You
it's
think the
like,
gun? I feel like the gun is probably a little harder than the driving.
the machine gun, I feel like.
Oh,
is
the machine.
relatively-
Well, okay. Here's the thing. I think the second one of those kids pops out to man a machine gun, they're just getting headshot instantly
It
by
could
a
be.
cowboy.
But they're on horseback.
Yeah, but they're used to that, and there's 25 of them. One of them's gonna hit
The kid, as soon as they get up.
from what did you say the max range was? 300 yards.
500 yards.
500
They hit
yards.
accurately, but that's like, that's not on horseback. That's like...
Well, you can just get off the horse. That's allowed. They're not glued to the horse the whole time.
Yeah.
So he probably could take a few out before getting popped. But I think the first, if one of the 8th graders tries to be a hero and man the machine gun, which is easier and obvious to use, Yeah, I think he's a goner, and then their morale is going to be hit. So maybe by then you've taken out like 12 cowboys between the machine gun and running them over.
I think if the 8th graders, one of them dies, they're like, fuck. They're
just going to panic. Unless it's Dennis, the military hardware kid that no one likes.
They just toss him out. And keep him.
He's like the kid from the Polar Express that knows all about the train.
Okay, Dennis. He knows all about this shit, so he should definitely be able to work a machine gun.
Yeah. So would he try it?
I think if we're like honestly choosing 8th graders that are...
Think about the people you knew in 8th grade.
I think if it's just them and they're just popped into this context...
Yeah.
That, like, they're going to try...
I will say the Cowboys don't descend right away. They're giving, like, a couple minutes to, like, stop freaking out.
I think in this scenario, most people might listen to Dennis.
You think Dennis's voice would hold sway? He's like, I've been training my whole life for this.
I've been reading books and...
But if he tries to man the machine gun, he will get shot. Like, I think there's no question.
I would disagree.
Really? 25? Even if there's 15 Cowboys.
Cowboys, that's a lot. He needs to, like... those machine guns have, like, a crazy range, though.
They do.
If he has, like, a gap of, like... 1,000 yards or so.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows how to work the machine gun. Like, let's say he has, like... If he even has 5 minutes to, like, figure it out. He can get in the machine gun, and he has at least 1,000 yards. He's just going to mow them all down with the machine gun.
That's if they come from one direction, though. If they're able to spread out and circle.
The turret swivels.
Yeah, but...
sound like a Lazy Susan type apparatus.
I'm just saying, I think he could not cover all directions, and he would get shot. He would probably be able to take out, like, a good chunk of them with that. But yeah. I do still think he's getting shot. Do we think they figured out the main cannon?
No, and I don't think it helps them that much. Because that's for blowing up, like, buildings and shit. Like, maybe if they're, like...
There are, like, anti-personnel tank rounds that they can put in that thing. Yeah, it's like a giant shot. No, there is, like...
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's, like, giant, like, sabot rounds they can put in it. So we could say that they have those.
The shotgun rounds?
Yeah.
So otherwise, like, if they were, like, pulling up in, like, a...
Otherwise, yeah... They would have to, like, directly...
Behind a ridge or something, you could do that and blow it up.
Yeah. But
the machine gun, that 50 cal machine gun on the top, you could take out 25 Cowboys easy, I feel like, even if they're coming from all directions.
I disagree. As an 8th grader, dropped into that situation, I think that 8th grader...
Can they physically lift the machine gun? Is it hard to use?
Well, it's, like, mounted on, so they wouldn't need to lift it. Yeah. But... recoil is probably another story. And then on top of that, if Dennis gets popped, that's just an open hatch that the Cowboys can now crawl in and just, like, open the can, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think they'll be able to figure that out. Like, if the Cowboys get on top of it, it's, like, game over.
Yeah.
Because, like, even if someone pokes their little head out, you're just going to get a Bowie knife.
Yeah, exactly. You're getting gutted like a fish, partner.
You're going to get gutted like a fish.
I'm going to roast you over my open fire. Buddy, most tender meat I've had. Jesus. 6 months on the trail, you got to do what you got to do to survive.
You're not...
You ever had it coming?
These are all, like, Jeffrey Dahmer Cowboys or something?
There's got to be one Dahmer in there. Yeah. You think out of 25 Cowboys back in the day, at least one of them was
There's a reason why they came all the way out west. Right.
Yeah, because they were like
civilization. The most psycho guys.
Yeah, they're like the truckers of their day.
We love our truckers.
They are modern day cowboys, though, in many ways.
How so?
Because they're like
get hemorrhoids.
Well, yes, and they wear a specific. Saddle. They wear a specific hat. They live a life of few comforts.
Okay.
They're out on the trails for many a moon.
All right.
Their whole goal is to just, like, take something from point A to point B, basically. The more you think about it, the more that this makes sense.
Point A from point B, I think you lost me there.
What do you mean?
They're trying to find who poisoned the water. They're not bringing a bunch of fucking Little Debbie snack cakes to your fat ass.
You've lost me with that one.
What do you mean Cowboys are trying to get something from point A to point B?
What's the first word of the word cowboy, Eric? What is it that they're
we're
doing?
generalizing, like, not their job, though. Like, they're dueling at high noon and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
You're
Well,
saying
I'm
Western
talking about, like,
real cowboys?
legitness. Real cowboys, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing that, too. Truckers probably duel at high noon.
Then they're herding. You know what I mean?
Yeah, herding. Just like pulling a trailer. Herding lot lizards into your lap.
I think it's still discouraged to lasso them.
I mean,
Hey there,
when no one's looking.
Come on over to Big Red, honey.
Come over to Big Red. Ooh.
Got no.
That'll be $30 to
That'll
me.
be like
I give the best sloppy this side of the I-4. That's like the Mississippi, the I-4.
If you're throwing some Marlboro Reds, I'll fondle your balls.
That's called the girlfriend package.
Really? Girlfriend experience?
Anyway, so we got our open plane. Say we got like 15 dead cowboys at this point.
Let's say
I think the main thing is, do you think they can chew through all 25?
So we're talking about the turret. We watched a reporter try and fire the turret for the first time. It can shoot up to a mile. She was shooting at a target that was half a mile away, and she was spraying all over the place.
She was spraying, and
she went through all of her rounds in a few seconds.
Yeah.
So this to me is the vital question.
And that was a stationary target, not on a horse moving 45 miles or 40 miles an hour, whatever. Top gallop.
But
making old Bessie work for it, didn't
you?
You damn nag.
I would still maintain that the 8th grader with the tank-mounted machine gun probably has a farther range than the cowboy with a rifle on the horseback.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
If they're like on a ridge
50
or something.
the cow will go much further than whatever the repeaters have.
So let's say their actual accuracy is like a fourth of a mile that they can actually hit someone.
Okay.
And she was spraying all over.
If it's a tight enough group, like I said, I think if an 8th grader gets on the machine gun, they are definitely going to immediately kill like 5 cowboys.
That's a good...
But they are also going to die because they'll run out of ammo before they think they will.
So the ammo, this is the big question.
And then they'll be like, oh, what's going on? And they'll start fiddling with it. Meanwhile, it's actually more of an exposed position from the video than I even originally thought. So then they're getting popped after that.
So what they need to do...
Then they got an open hatch and a dead body that 8th graders have to deal with. And that's demoralizing.
That is demoralizing. But let's say they kill 5 cowboys. Is the cowboys' mettle perturbed by this?
Well, I think the cowboys are... Maybe half of them get scared and go...
You've never seen anything like this in your life.
Well, like they know what a machine gun is. Like, Gatling guns were a thing.
That's true.
So they would understand the idea.
Okay. Let's say they're tough in the middle.
Yeah, maybe say half of them continue whatever charge, and the other half maybe get
branch
scared.
off.
Yeah,
or something. Let's say that they're...
That leaves 10 coward cowboy, 10 yellow-bellied
sidewinders.
And 10 tried and true
Scurrying
iron
off.
guts.
Real sons of bitches. Sleep in the ass. Now, let's say they keep on going, all 20 remaining ones. So I think the question is, can they drive away at 45 miles per hour? Let's say they have unlimited, gas and they have, a bunch of boxes of ammo, right?
Sure. I think for the situation, it would be over long before they ran out of gas either way.
Yeah. So let's say...
But they can't run away. The 8th graders can't run away.
Yeah. So let's say they kill, 5 or 10 of them with a machine gun.
Sure.
And now we have
honestly, I think 5 is 5 is a generous estimate.
Yeah. And then I think it's mainly just because it's so short. You go through 100 rounds so quickly.
It's short, and I mean, there's a lot of recoil. It's probably pretty inaccurate,
especially for an 8th grader.
Yeah. So
Dennis is up there. He wastes 5 of these cowpokes. They're laying for the buzzards.
Remaining, can they pop him before he gets his senses together? Probably.
So let's say there's a little bit of terrain. Okay. And some of them dismount or something. They go away and kind of flank or something. You know what I mean? They go up to yonder ridge. So let's say half of them. So we got 10 charging and 10 going up to the ridge to try and take pot shots.
Yeah, sure. That's
if they can drive away fast enough for Dennis to figure out how to reload the thing in time.
I think if Dennis even tries to reload it once, he's dying. That's my hot take. Because
he does have to reload it in the exposed position.
Yeah, so I think either Dennis just like gives up. He might die. Like I feel like using the machine gun at all, unless he immediately ducks back in, which I don't know if he'll have the combat IQ to do. I think Dennis is dead after he kills those 5. I mean,
I think he could live. I think he would duck back in.
Mm.
So let's say the
There's a lot
Cowboys
of
are
faith
coming
in this
from the
fella.
north to the south. They get wasted from like a quarter mile away. Someone branch off to go to a ridge, let's say, that's like along like the entire east side, right? So imagine Cowboys are coming from the north, and they go off like over a hill.
Okay.
From the perspective of the 8th graders to their right, you know what I mean?
Okay. So
and
they
then
have
the rest
some
of them
cover.
keep coming. And let's say the tank has to run away, right? So could mounted Cowboys from, let's say, like a third of a mile away on horseback with their rifles shoot Dennis frantically reloading the machine gun? I don't think there's any way in hell they ever figure out how to shoot the main cannon.
Yeah.
Because they have to like put something in the breech and all that jazz.
We'll say that it already has a round loaded in the breech, maybe, but yeah, I agree.
There's a
that
gun
I don't
on the
know.
track. They have to do that, and they're moving and like aim it at them.
Yeah, I doubt they'll figure out the main cannon. I think, if anything, the only time the main cannon will come into use is if some Cowboys make it physically on top of the tank and they need to, like, shake them off by spinning the gun barrel around. I feel like that's the only way
That's
the 8th
so
graders
funny.
are actually going to be able to use the turret effectively.
Yeah. That's so funny.
So, we got half of them charging, presumably with the dynamite, and the other half taking pot
Let's say
shots.
the ones with.
I think Dennis is dying.
But you have to put you take the box, you open it, you take the belt out, you put that in the chamber.
I think
and you
that's
just
too
cock it.
long. I think that's a headshot for the Cowboys if they go for that.
Okay.
Because, listen, old Mackie over there, he can snap a prairie dog from half a mile away. And little Mr. Dennis just killed 5 of his friends and his lover, his secret lover that the other Cowboys didn't know about.
Oh my gosh, we got gay lovers in the equation.
Oh, come on. At least 15 of the Cowboys.
I wish I could quit.
So Dennis is dead. We've got running over the Cowboys and maybe figuring out the turret for the rest of them. How do you think
so let's
that
say
goes?
Dennis is dead. That's a huge morale
Mm-hmm.
thing. The Cowboys, they've probably seen Ezekiel get scalped in the field.
Mm-hmm.
They've seen some shit, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like they're probably a fucking lady in like Virginia died of typhoid or something.
They've been through hardship.
They definitely have way more metal than the
And the
8th graders.
Zoomers don't even have a Family Guy or Subway Surfers to watch.
to watch at the same time to figure out how to load the machine
Yeah,
gun.
exactly. So, point Cowboys. But let's say they can close the hatch up at least before they come in to like literally just skin them from the inside of the thing. Do you think they have a chance with just driving around and maybe figuring out the turret for the remainder of the Cowboys?
So let's say they catch up to them, the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis is dead. He fell out.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones are freaking out. Let's say Moses Springfield jumps onto the back with his Bowie knife.
Oh shit.
Can they figure out how to turn the cannon to sweep him off? And he's like barely holding on.
I feel like turning the cannon isn't that hard.
And they're all shook. Dennis has just died.
Dennis is gone. I mean, none of them liked him that much anyway.
L plus ratio.
He's kind of annoying. L plus ratio plus
touch grass.
touch grass plus divergent.
Damn.
Anyway.
He didn't even get to match his Play-Doh with anyone.
He did not.
Let's say Dennis got hit in the arm. Would an average Zoomer know how to apply a tourniquet and know what to do?
Highly doubt that. Okay, so
Let's just say he's gone.
Dennis is out of the picture either way.
We'll see what our sisters say about.
Yeah, so we texted our sisters to see if they would know what to do if someone got shot in the arm
They're in
to
ninth
get the real Zoomer point of view,
Yeah.
but I doubt it. They would be like, stop trauma dumping. So like bleeding all over the place. It's giving drama queen.
It's just really funny how all these like therapy terms and like marketing terms have entered our common speech.
Yeah, the vernacular is always changing.
Yeah.
The Cowboys.
That's so on brand for you, Dennis, to get shot.
Yeah.
You would.
Very Dennis. So, anyways, they
I
have
love that for you, Dennis.
they have the turret and basically just the tracks themselves to take out the remainder. The Cowboys say there's like 15, 20 of them left.
So in the M1A1 Abrahms, the way that the gunner works is he has two handles. There's a clamp for your fingers on each of the handles that rotates the gun in that direction.
Right.
And if you press both thumb buttons on top, either hand, it will take a screenshot. Just joking. It fires the round. And then if you lift it up or down, you can aim the gun. Do you think a zoomer could figure that out?
I think they could, honestly.
Under duress.
I think they could. That doesn't really seem that hard to figure out. It might take a few tries. Like, I don't think it would happen immediately.
Okay.
But I think one thing to worry about, though, is so the loader position has to be careful when the gun fires so that their hands don't get, like, pulverized.
Oh, because the recoil, it comes
right,
back.
Exactly. Yeah. So they just have to know to, like, be wary of that, which...
Right.
If Dennis isn't around to tell one of them that, there's a very good chance one of them could get injured trying to use the main gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think if the 8th graders would be cautious enough to like not to think about something like that, or do you think they would just be like panicking at this point and just throwing everything out there?
Maybe they figured this stuff out while Dennis is shooting everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe and how.
But if they turn the turret while Dennis is shooting and they don't communicate well, then he's just gonna like be turned away from his target and be like, "Guys, what are you doing?"
So there's the 3 machine guns. There's we looked at the M1A2.
Yeah, the A1. We'll just say there's like one machine gun.
Open machine gun at the top to give the Cowboys a chance, and it's not all just either the like imaging system is broken or it just doesn't have it or something like that. It's an old tank.
Yeah.
So would they be able to figure out? It could mess up his aim, but I feel like he would tell him like, figure out how it works. And let's say that the driver position, which is
Shaniqua
is the driver.
Yeah.
Let's say that they must like have like a radio comm system because the driver is on the actual.
Yeah, we'll say that they have like radios at least.
I'm not sure if they wear headsets in the actual tank or what's.
I think they do. I mean, I imagine.
Let's say they can all talk to each other.
Yeah, they have to be able to communicate.
So how do you feel about the gunner? It might be a little iffy, right? To like you think they could do it?
I think they could figure it out. It would probably take longer than figuring out the driving. The driving is very, very straightforward. It's literally like a little motorcycle thing that hangs from the ceiling. If you've ever seen someone rev a motorcycle before, you could figure it out, and then there's a big brake.
So how does it work?
The driver?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like they're laying in almost like a little bathtub position. There's this little tiny motorcycle bar-looking thing coming down from the ceiling, almost like a little periscope for like a submarine. And you literally just turn that left and right and then like twist it like a motorcycle to increase the throttle. And then there's like a brake where like the brake of a car would be basically. So that's pretty self-explanatory. I think they're driving it.
If they can do driver's ed, they can.
Yeah. That's almost the age where you're starting to drive.
So then it's just up to the communication of all these.
Yes, I'll say they're not great friends or anything.
Okay.
2 of them kind of know each other, but they're not.
So who are we know there are machine gunner. We know the.
So machine gunner is in a position. So.
Let's say the commander position is
the commander position is Dennis. Yeah,
Dennis.
Dennis is the military nut kid that no one
likes. Who are the other 2 kids?
There's Kevin and
I think you need a kid named like Caden or Aiden or something.
Yeah, Kevin and Zayden.
Kevin and Zayden.
Yeah, Zayden is the gunner, like the one that actually aims and fires the turret, and Kevin is the loader because he's the burliest one.
Okay.
He's like a fat kid. You know, he's got that fat strength.
I feel like he wouldn't actually like know what to do. Like, so as we also learned, there's a little knee lever you have to press down to open
the ammunition compartment. Yes.
Do you think Kevin finds?
I think he bumps into it on accident and figures it out.
Opens it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I think the logistics of reloading the big gun is going to be hard for them, though.
So let's say they also have a little periscope to look outside of the tank with.
Yes, they do have that.
Even if they close the hatch.
Yeah.
So do you think they can coordinate well enough to aim a shot at a moving cowboy while the tank is moving away from everyone in the south direction, like we said before?
Probably not. Like, if so those cowboys, we said they split off into two groups before, right?
Yeah.
The ones that, like, are just kind of hiding or trying to, like, take shots, they could probably take those guys out if they're, like, hiding behind something big. That round is going to sail right through it like butter and just demolish them. Right. But I don't think they could hit a moving target.
But that requires a lot of coordination.
Yeah.
The person has to, with the
They'll probably fire it accidentally the first time, and maybe they get lucky, maybe they don't.
I think if they're all in a cluster coming towards them, they could do it.
But I think the Cowboys would understand, this is a big cannon, and they wouldn't just,
go in front
all run in a big clump. You know what I mean? They would spread out and come from different angles.
But now, Dennis is dead. They're all freaked out.
Yeah.
They've told Shaniqua to go... What's his name?
Shaniqua, the driver?
Yeah, to drive south as fast as she can.
Well, remember, though, they can't run away. I mean, they can make distance, I guess.
They can make a tactical retreat.
Sure, okay.
Right? If it's in their best interest to put miles between them or, distance between them. Let's say that happens, right? They could, if they're all, following them in a trail, they could just turn the turret around while they're going backwards and shoot it.
That's true. If they're, kiting the Cowboys as they approach.
Exactly.
They'll be going slightly faster than them.
Yeah.
Than the horses.
I'm sure the horses can't keep a 40-mile-per-hour speed.
Yeah, probably
I feel like they could open up the distance if they chose.
Yeah, true.
But the thing is, let's say they have, a few minutes. Could they figure out how to aim the gun, coordinate that they're actually aiming at the right thing, and then shoot the...
Probably not. Probably not within a short time frame.
So let's say 50-50 and flip a coin.
Okay. 50-50 that...
50-50 and flip a coin. If they get it, in our imaginary scenario, they blow up 7 cowboys or something.
Okay.
They're all clustered together. They
No, we established though that they're not just gonna. Well, the ones that
they're
are
on a road.
stationary.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
they're all
okay.
the cowboys are chasing them, and they have to run right behind them.
Right. Okay.
So let's say that happens. Let's flip a coin really quick.
Okay.
Heads. They blow the cowboys up.
This is the type of intense discussion that you come here for.
Tails.
Flip a coin.
Tails. They miss enough times for the cowboys to be like, we should not be riding right behind them and go over the ridge.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Heads.
Heads.
Kevin. It's he uses his fat strength.
The Mountain Dew pumping patriotism.
The Mountain Dew gamer code blue coursing through his veins.
Kevin's got a mullet for sure.
He's got a mullet. He's wearing the basketball shorts and slides.
Yeah.
He's got a stained Creeper Minecraft shirt. That his bulk is just, it's like a sausage in a casing.
Oh my god.
He uses fat strength to lug a target in there. He loads it in the breech. Dennis, let's say he got shot. It's like an artery. He's in his dying, he's in the commander chair, bleeding everywhere. No one knows to put pressure on it.
No, they don't.
Dennis maybe knows, but he's he tells him to do it. How to load the charge into the breech, the round into the breech, and he tells them how to shoot it. And then on the first try, they get lucky, and they blow up a bunch of cowboys.
Okay, and then they cheer.
So the cow, from the cowboys' perspective, they're like, "What the fuck?
What the hell?
There's a Gatling gun mounted to a steam engine, and yonder tree branch." They blew up the water.
I don't think you're giving the Cowboys enough credit to understand a giant cannon pointed right at them.
Sure, maybe they don't understand. Well, I don't know. I think they would still be riding after it until that happens. So that happens. And let's say they had the multi-purpose round. Okay, so let's roll again. In these tanks.
Yeah.
Well, no, let's just say it blows up the ground and it blows up 5 of them.
Yeah,
That's generous, right?
That's generous.
It blows it up. The horses turn into a fine red mist. The cowboys turn into a fine red mist. And so let's say 2 of them are injured. 5 are dead, 2 are injured.
Okay.
They're like, what incarnation was that?
It's the big cannon.
It's the big cannon. Get over the ridge. Then they say, we'll head him off at the pass.
Oh, there's a pass
Of
now?
course there's a pass. Come
You're
on.
just changing the rules as you go.
No, this is in the Cowboys' favor. You say you're not giving them enough credit. They're heading him off at the pass. It's a classic Cowboy line.
Okay, classic cowboy move.
7 of their friends are out of commission, let's say.
7? Okay.
Let's say 2 of the horses are like...
Yeah, those horses probably like broke their legs.
Yeah.
But maybe the cowboys riding them.
Maybe they could double up.
Yeah. Oh, hey partner.
They just choose,
Hold on real tight.
It's very intuitive because each person just goes with their gay lover.
Yeah.
That's
easy.
And then they ride off, but like let's say they could still use their long guns.
Yeah.
So 5 have died from the machine gun fire.
Yeah.
5 have been turned into
Cowboy paste.
have turned into vulture food. And 2 are doubling up Brokeback Mountain style on the Okay, they go over the pass and they're gonna head him off at the ridge. So the kids are freaked out.
Kevin's probably bled out by this. Or
Dennis has bled out. Kevin and who's the gunner again? Caden? Zayden. Because he's played
Zayden
so
is like
much
a zoomer
Fortnite.
with fluffy hair.
He perfectly...
He's got the broccoli haircut.
Exactly. Because Zayden has played so much Fortnite, he uses his telescope, his submarine sights to perfectly aim the gun to blow them all up.
Okay.
So that was just his Fortnite skills coming
Okay, but they have to reload it again.
They have to reload it again. Let's say they do that, but now all the Cowboys have gone over the ridge and they can't see them anymore.
Yeah.
So let's say they're heading south, right?
Okay.
And they're kind of running parallel to each other, but in between them there's a mountain range. But the Cowboys, they have knowledge of the terrain.
They do.
They know that there's a mountain pass coming up.
Okay.
Yonder
the tank
pass.
So the tank could almost get stuck in a week because
I think the tank would be pretty fine. Let's say it's like an Oregon Trail style road, and a mountain pass means they don't have to go straight uphill.
Sure.
And a tank even would do pretty well.
Yeah, it is a tank. I guess.
It's a tank. It's fine.
It's a tank.
It'll probably do better than a horse.
Yeah.
But the thing is that's their ambush point.
Mm.
So they're gonna get ready.
This is where the dynamite comes.
This is where the dynamite comes into play, and maybe they have So they're going south. We have this mountain range. Let's say this mountain range turns, and so instead of going north to south, it goes east to west.
Okay.
And that's where the mountain pass is, right? It goes through the mountain range that's now running east to west because they ran.
It just goes straight through.
It just goes straight through.
Gotcha.
So the Cowboys know this. And let's say they how many are left? We got 15 Cowboys left.
Okay, yeah.
7 are going to
15 Cowboys, but only 13 horses left.
Only 13 horses left.
Yeah.
Let's say 8 of them are going to set up on the ridge.
Okay.
And they don't know what the fuck depleted uranium is.
No.
For all they know,
the dynamite would work.
depleted uranium for background is something.
But they do probably know at this point that at least it's bulletproof.
They know it's
They know it's bulletproof, whatever.
Well, would they know that though?
They definitely would have seen that while shooting it.
I think they would probably still think that bullets could hurt it. So this is what I'm saying.
I disagree. I think they would. I feel like they would see them clinging off. You know what I mean?
It makes a sound.
Yeah, it would make that cool noise. Yeah. They would be like, it made the sound.
It made the sound. Look, just like the sound. Right?
Yeah.
That noise comes from a ricochet, though. You have to be pretty close to hear that.
I suppose.
And I'm not sure if you would hear that if you're on horseback. Got the tank.
Cowboys would know not to just shoot at a tank, sorry,
a steam engine.
A steam engine, yeah, a locomotive.
Okay, a locomotive.
They would know that you can't end a locomotive by shooting at it. So I think they could use they could connect the neurons. And a brief spark would form.
Hold on,
pass the brains.
A commissar sick.
Wait a cotton picking minute, boy. Something ain't right.
Something ain't right.
I reckon we wasting our bullets.
So let's say they set their TNT trap at the pass, head them off at the pass.
I see.
So they can set it. Maybe they could dig a hole. Well, the thing is, the tank is going a lot faster than that.
That's true. So how would they get around the tank?
So
Especially on the mountainous
let's just
terrain.
hand wave that this tank has to find its way through, and they know
And they are still getting the grip. Shaniqua's still getting the grips with driving it, probably. There's a lot of 3-point turns probably happening. A lot of
They saw the Cowboys go away. They took a second to catch their breath.
Yeah.
They're trying.
Mourn Dennis.
They're trying to save Dennis. Let's say.
Maybe there's a first aid kit somewhere in there. I don't think that's too far off the realm.
Here's another thing. I know what. I would
Okay,
let's let the Zoomers know what to do because of all the school shootings in America. We texted our sister who is a Zoomer. She was speaking for all Zoomers. I told her to not Google it. I think she might have Googled it. She said, "Get to a safe place, craft a makeshift tourniquet out of clothes, apply blood pressure to a wound to stop blood flow, and call 911." That's a pretty fucking good response.
Yeah, I guess they've been through
I say this.
Lockdown
Dennis,
drills.
They take their second.
You think
the
Dennis
Cowboys
lives?
Get up to the pass.
Okay, you convince me.
Dennis gets his makeshift tourniquet, and he's like in rough condition. He's not shooting a machine gun, but he can tell them shit about how the tank works.
I do think we're retconning a little, not to retcon a little bit, but I do still think there's a chance that Dennis got headshot when he got shot and he's just got down. But fair enough, it is a far distance. It's a really far distance. They have to close on horseback. Fair enough.
They're not.
I'll cede you that he's only injured. Sure.
Yeah, so let's just do it because it makes it more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad our sister knows how to survive getting
because
shot.
They've seen.
I love living in America.
They've watched in a health class like a
throw books at
video. Exactly. Behind fight. They've seen the health class informational show about what to do in that case.
Yeah.
And they take Kevin. Is it Kevin?
Kevin is the fat.
They take Kevin's grease-stained French fried pizza.
Kevin comes from a rough home. Guys.
He comes from a rough home. You can
don't hold it against him too much.
He's playing Roblox too and turning the headphones up to 100, so mommy and daddy fighting can't be heard.
That is so dark.
Sorry,
if you think Roblox
and his teeth are bad. But they take his cheeseburger grease-stained Minecraft Creeper T-shirt and they rip it to craft a makeshift tourniquet with like some stick that they found there.
But now it smells really bad in that tiny confine.
I'm sure it smells bad. That hurts their morale. Their morale is already like shaken.
Yeah,
that's true. They are going to be like frazzled and like not know what to do. Because of that video, they make that tourniquet and Dennis is stable, let's say.
Okay.
He's like, he needs help.
Yeah.
But like, let's say they can talk to him and that's it. He can't do much else.
Yeah.
He's lost some blood.
Yeah,
but they do that.
Barely conscious.
On it. And he's putting pressure on himself. Let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So they do that. Meanwhile, what do you think the Cowboys are doing? How are they going to set their trap?
So we're saying that they kind of stopped moving at this point to deal with that.
They stopped moving.
They told Shaniqua to pump the brakes for a second.
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys, they are probably setting up an ambush. We're in the mountainous terrain at this point.
Yeah, they're up in let's say there's a hill that they could ride their horses over, and now they're on the other side of this pass.
I think the Cowboys might try to just not blow up the tank directly with the TNT, but try to create an avalanche and bury them with some rocks.
That's a good idea.
Which, granted, the tank could still probably get themselves out of, but it is at least a deterrent in some ways. But other than that, I mean, they might just be trying to close in and try to pry open the can and just get them from the inside out.
That's where they would do that as well.
Yeah.
So let's say they just let's just say they would just put the charge directly because they would have to time that
that's true if it's actively driving.
There's a fuse on the TNT,
or if they have one of those plunger detonation things.
Can you lob the TNT? Let's say they lob the TNT.
You could lob it.
Let's say
not very far. You'd have to be pretty close though.
Yeah, let's say they do that though.
Okay. Do you think they get good use out of it? Probably not, right?
TNT?
Yeah. If they just chuck it at the tank, it's not going to do anything.
It's not going to do anything because of the tanks.
The tank has explosive resistant armor.
Yeah, it's usually all the trophy system and stuff. We're saying
it doesn't have that.
M1A1 or anything like that. It's just a plain old tank.
Yeah.
They say it should hold up to a explosion pretty well.
Yeah.
What we watched said there's some system to deflect the shock.
Yeah, it basically makes another explosion outward to sort of dissipate the energy.
Of that thing that's on the side, those rectangular tiles that blow up in order to detonate a charge.
Yeah. Maybe they could damage one of the tracks, I think.
I think they could hurt the tracks if they put it if they happen to do it on the back, then I think
that would be really bad.
That would be bad. That's close to where the engine is. So the Reddit post that I read said, depends on where it hits. If it hits the front of the turret of the hull, it will do nothing. Let's just say the TNT will do the same as the RPG. The back of the tank basically has no protection, and an RPG will penetrate anywhere on the back. Still have to take into account that an RPG could blow a track off, and with a track blown off, the tank can't move, so it's as good as dead.
So, if they're stationary, I think the Cowboys have it.
Yeah, if they're stationary, they're...
All they can really do is like swing the turd around and try to hit them with it.
Which is funny.
Which is funny.
So I think we should roll some dice.
Oh yeah,
And
that's what I'm about.
Let's agree on the chances that the tank will become injured and the chances that the tank will just blow the fuck up and they'll like roast inside.
Let's say
I think like
1/3 chance the tank gets injured and is immobile.
Okay, 1/3 is less than 1/4. 1/4 on a d20 is...
You could just say a d6 so if it rolls a 1 or a 2. The tank
It's let's say if it rolls a 1, then they die.
Then they die. Okay.
So let's say like
1 they die, 2 they're immobile.
let's say Billy Bob and
Billy Bob Thornton. Billy Bob and Miley. Are you literally looking up cowboy names?
Yes, shut up.
No. You should be shamed for this.
No.
This is not what the founding fathers died for.
Okay, fine.
This is not
Okay,
what we
let's say,
manifested our destiny.
Fuck. Wild Bill.
Wild Bill and Hot Hands Jimmy Bob.
It's Jimmy Bob. They're the dynamite experts, and they have to lob like their sticks wound together of dynamite. Let's say there's like 5 or 6
like a
sticks
bundle,
of dynamite, which has like a lot of explosive power. But let's say it's equivalent to a modern RPG. I have no clue if that's the case, but probably.
I mean, this is old timey dynamite. It's not.
It's
old timey dynamite.
It's not going to be as powerful as something like a modern explosive.
Yeah.
C4
So
or something.
I think head on the tank can definitely handle it.
Head on the tank can definitely handle it.
If it lands in a fucky spot in the treads, that's going to be bad.
If it lands, let's say.
And they might understand that too, because the Cowboys could look at that treads and be like, okay, it's kind of like a train that lays and picks up its own track after itself. So I've hustled cattle and I've robbed trains, and I know that if you put the TNT on the train, the whole sucker derails and you can grab the gold safe inside.
Exactly. The gold.
So Jimmy
Kill
Bob
the children inside.
whatever his name was, he's ready to make some 8th grader stew.
Okay, so they're gonna throw it, but like let's say for that 2/3 chance, it lands on the front or they just miss it.
Okay, yeah.
1/3, so a 2, it blows up the tank tread.
Yeah, the tread and they're immobile.
And the mobile. 3, the tank engine blows the fuck up and it's on fire.
And it's just like
they have to get out. They have to get out.
Yeah, and they're basically as good as dead.
All right. So are you ready to roll?
I'm ready.
Okay. Let's get our d6. I'm praying for these children.
Okay, listeners.
5. Okay. Wild Bill and Jimmy Dean sausages are waiting in a tree. That's like a pretty good roll. On a 6, like we'd say they fuck up and maybe Jimmy Dean blows himself
They
up.
blow themselves up.
But a
that's
5,
not out of the realm of possibility.
A 5, let's say like nothing really happens.
They waste their TNT.
They lob it.
It lands on like a good armor panel and it does nothing essentially.
Yeah, let's say that happens with one, and with the other one, they just fucking miss.
Yeah,
and it just doesn't even blow up anywhere close. But now that like kind of like
rattles the 8th graders even more.
What in tarnation? Again.
Yeah.
What in tarnation count times 2?
It's like their swear jar.
Yeah. All right, Bill.
All right, Wild Bill. We gotta open this can. They had cans, right?
Yeah.
Cans of beans. Anyway.
These are like very brave, crazed cowboys.
Oh, they're the meanest sons of bitches. They're like hardcore, these guys.
So they miss that. Those 2, it drives past them. So that's 1 point on the pass, let's say.
Yeah.
So there's another point. So that was, how many did we have left? 17?
Yeah.
So there's 15 more cowboys. Can 15 cowboys off horseback jump onto the tank and get into it?
Oh, okay, here's the thing.
So how many of them do you think will get on top of the tank?
Out of 15,
Let's say they're
if
all
the tank is going, if it's going at full speed, it's a mountain I think
pass.
At least a couple of them die trying.
Yes. That could be the case. Should we do another roll and see what happens?
There's 15 of them?
Would happen?
No, I think...
Let's say they just...
I think maybe 4 of them make it on. Maybe 4 out of the 15.
I think maybe like 5 could make it on.
5? Okay, sure.
Maybe 1 could get run over. But once...
I think at least 2 of them get run over if they're all trying to just jump on the tank.
Let's say that. So let's say they're all just waiting in like a tree or something like that. It's like Robin Hood, that scene in Shrek.
Oh, merry man!
That guy said... There's shit kicker Steven. And he pops out of the past and he goes, oh, merry man. But he is quickly turned into...
into
ground beef.
ground
under the treads.
hamburger helper.
But the rest, but the rest of them get on top of the tank. Or how many do you think could be in there? You said 4.
I think 4 is
I think like
generous.
6 could be on there.
I'm not saying could be. I'm saying would make it on there.
Yeah, I think. Well, take into account there's like, besides shit kicker Steven, who's under the treads.
R.I.P.
That would leave what 14. So I think 6 out of 14 could get on there if they're trying.
Okay.
Because let's say it's a mountain pass. You know, it's not like they're going 45.
Yeah. Okay.
There's switchbacks and shit like that.
Okay. Yeah. Shaniqua's having a hell of a time.
She's having a hard time, like.
Yeah, and she's wearing pumps too. So
Oh my goodness, girl.
So it's kind of hard. But anyway, so okay, I suppose.
I wonder if they would be tall enough to operate the tank.
I think actually their size would be a benefit. It would be easier for them.
Make them feel less.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess through that terrain,
Because they're going
they
like
might be
20
going
miles
slower.
per hour at the
It's
maximum.
not a straight shot. Yeah.
And like the road is going to be really skinny.
Yeah.
It's for horses. You know what I mean? Not a 12-foot wide tank.
Yeah. Okay.
So for that reason.
For that reason, I'm out.
For that reason, you're out of the competition.
Okay, true.
So 6 of them get on there, but it's still moving.
Okay, so 6 are on a moving tank. I think by this point, the 8th graders have a good enough grasp of the turret that they could
swing it around.
They could do a boom like on a sailboat moment and just like knock at least half of them off.
So let's say, but that's kind of like a creative moment. Let's say like then Dennis has that idea or something like that.
I have an idea.
Dennis is like,
it says with his last dying breath, he says,
the cowpokes are on the tank, swing the arm.
That's not what he sounds like. You can swing them off with the arm.
Did you know? Did you know?
My dad, he's like the lead. He's like the district manager
My
for
dad works
Costco.
for Nintendo, and he'll ban you. Okay, so they do that. Let's say only like
Maybe only 2 of them get knocked off by that.
let's say like 3 of them climb up to the actual like turret of the tank,
Yes.
and then some of them are on the body.
Yes.
The tank is continuously spinning around.
Spinning the turret. Yeah.
All right,
One of them's hanging off the side of the gun as it spins. Some real like jaunty Wild West music is playing.
There's somehow like a little pianist with a straw hat and an armband. They pass by.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's keeping it lively.
Keeping it lively.
So
we have who is swinging from the tank.
swinging from the tank, we got Jester Balls McNugget.
Come on,
the most hated cowboy.
No, we gotta keep it real. We got
that's not
we got
real
Chlamydia Kid on there.
Chlamydia Ken is better. Old Clappy Kenny.
Whoa. I wonder
Okay,
how fast they can
Chlamydia
rotate it.
Ken.
So they rotate it.
Swinging.
Finally, like it hits a tree and it bounces off, and Chlamydia Ken is splattered on the tree.
He is dashed across the rocks like a deformed Spartan baby.
They put them in a pot, didn't they?
Whatever.
Anyways, Chlamydia Ken out of the picture. And see, let's say 2 more of them. Like we kind of got like those 2 people from Pirates of the Caribbean. What are their names?
Oh, the guy with one eye and the ugly little fat man.
Yeah. You know, like us.
Yeah, they're yeah, relatable.
What are their fucking names?
Whatever. You get the idea.
They're ducking, but then finally they're like, phew, and then it comes all the way around after Chlamydia Ken gets knocked off the thing, it goes the other direction and knocks both of them off.
Okay, so are there any of them left on this point?
Let's say there are 3 that are on the actual top of the tank and they can't be knocked off.
Okay.
So can they figure out with just their Bowie knives, their 6-shooters, and their repeaters how to get inside of the tank?
I don't know if
I'm leaning towards a no.
Yeah, I don't know if they physically could. The only way I think they could get in is if the 8th graders didn't properly shut the hatch when Dennis ducked back in. You know what I mean?
Let's say with their Dennis advantage, they knew how to do that.
Okay.
Dennis is like, turn the crank.
Actually, you need to turn it counterclockwise.
Exactly.
23 degrees, idiot.
So they know how to do that.
Yeah, okay.
So now we're running into a fuel or like a war of attrition scenario.
I see. I think the Cowboys, I mean, they have to be driven off. So in that's a bad
Cowboys
situation.
have jerky.
That's a bad. They've got cans of beans. They
got cans of beans.
They could wrestle up a jackrabbit, perhaps,
to
make in a stew. They could even eat their fallen compatriots. I don't think it would be the first time for some of them to be doing that.
Yeah.
So,
but now let's say we've made it through the pass, but the 3 cowpokes are still on top.
what can they do?
Pointlessly just dinging their Bowie knives off the side of the tank.
Yeah, I think.
Now they can get back up to speed. Let's say there's a straightaway or something.
Okay, so
Do the
could
Cowboys-
they hang on 45 miles an hour?
Could they hang on at 45 miles an hour?
I feel like
on a
they
bumpy
could.
road?
I feel like they
The
could
tank is,
because
like,
they're used.
stabilized,
They're
too.
used to horses, which are like bucking,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
they're used to.
Yeah, they're breaking Broncos.
right. They could definitely hang
They
on.
could definitely hang on. Okay.
But I don't know if they could do anything to
They-
get inside.
Well, I think it becomes like a who gets hungry.
The 8th graders are definitely going to get hungry first,
I think at this point they'll just like stop driving at some
and then
point,
have like a nervous break.
have a nervous break, maybe come out and get killed
So in the end, Cowboys win.
or just starve.
War of attrition.
Yeah, I would say so. More of attrition.
They could reload the main gun again, but
What would that do?
I mean, yeah, I think at this point the Cowboys would be too nimble for them to catch in one big clump again, and they would be too wary. You know what I mean? They would just like hide in the mountains, and
I think they might try and surround the thing, but there's nothing they can do if they're right on top of the hatch.
yeah,
Or like sable it.
if the Cowboys, they could.
Do you think they have any of those guys had any like at least one stick of TNT? Maybe.
It's possible if they didn't use all the TNT because they split up into 2 groups, right?
Yeah.
You think maybe they gave them one?
Do you want to roll like 1 out of 8? That
One out
has
of
1
8?
stick of TNT.
Okay, sure.
So one has 1 stick of dynamite.
All right, we're gonna roll
TNT,
another dice, folks.
And then they are able to successfully use that to like
to
blow open the thing.
yeah,
Let's
sure.
say it's nighttime, the children are asleep in there,
Yeah, okay.
and they're gonna just do that.
They don't make it.
They don't make it.
Okay,
It
so
was like 1.
either way, it's a long war of attrition, and I think
It's a long war
eventually
of
the
attrition.
kids are gonna freak out and just like say, "I can't take it anymore, man! I'm running out there." Kevin is a little weak-minded. Was this Kenny or Kevin?
Kevin.
Kevin is.
Kenny would have been better though.
He's a little weak-minded, and he can't take it anymore. And he decides he's gonna fist fight the Cowboys, which he loses, and then opens.
I think
up
we got one
defense.
more roll to make it interesting. Let's say there's a service sidearm inside of the inside of the.
They're not going to do it all with the service sidearm. I think at this point, regardless of forget war of attrition, with the just the turret, like the main turret, could they and driving? I guess could they kill the rest of the Cowboys? Because they could go on more of the defense of the aggressive and take the fight back
I think
to them.
so.
in the
They've got the
mountains.
hang of the tank.
Yeah, if anything, they could send around into the mountains and cause like a little avalanche thing on any of them that are hiding.
And
out.
how about the recoil of the
Oh yeah, they just
shot
fire
that
it
are on
once.
top?
All those Cowboys are probably dead. Actually,
You
if
think
they
so?
fire that gun anywhere near them, their eardrums are gonna pop. First of all,
But they're inside. Oh, okay, this is clever. They go up to like a wall.
they wouldn't even need to go to a wall, dude. That's so loud. Like it would
I
just
think they
blow
would do
them to
that a couple
smithereens. They would blow them to kingdom come.
I think that would at least damage the tank, so it wouldn't be able to fire anywhere. Though, like, what are you saying? Just fire straight downward or something?
What do you mean damage the tank? How?
What are you saying? Like,
I'm saying like with the Cowboys that are hanging on the top of the turret.
exactly
Fire the gun once, they're gone. That's
just
much.
anywhere.
Yeah, there's the recoil, the shockwave, the sound alone of the cannon firing is 190 decibels, which is definitely enough to just kill you outright.
So we watched this video. Ultra powerful M1 Abrams 120 millimeter smoothbore cannon.
God
action,
bless America.
which is going to definitely fuck up my YouTube shorts.
That's the sacrifices we make here in Platypus World.
for the podcast.
Absolutely.
But it looks relatively stabilized. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that it wouldn't like blow out your eardrums.
Yeah. I think it
like-
could kill you.
I don't think it would kill you though.
I think at least one of those Cowboys is dead from that sound.
I think it would at least scare the fuck out of them, and they could.
It would deafen them at the very least for life.
Wow. Okay, so I was totally wrong. With no hearing protection, again, you're deaf in short order, but buttoned up, it's not so bad.
Yeah, so at the very least, they're deafened completely. I think they're essentially out of commission if they're next to that gun when it goes off.
Wow. So this is interesting. So just to keep it interesting, let's say 2 of them at least get startled, or like they're deafened and they're like, oh, or they can't hold up, they're just firing into the air or something like that. They're going down the road at 45 miles per hour. They're spinning the tank around and around as fast as it can go. And they're just firing. And there's 3 cowboys.
They're gone, dude.
Almost pissing in their
They're
chaps.
goners.
And there's just that 190 decibel sound like every so often. Dong.
Yeah.
So let's say there's one that can stick it out.
Oh my god.
You don't think that's the case?
No. He would have to be the toughest cowpoke.
There's some tough cowpokes.
He would have to
out
be
there.
Hurley Burley, the toughest cowpoke this side of the Mississippi.
Let's say, okay.
Who once wrestled a live bear.
Okay,
and
what
lived
if
to tell
I
the
give him some character motivation? Let's say his
I don't
name-
care what kind of anime
No,
backstory
no,
moment.
no.
He has a flashback while you
He
say
has a
run plays.
flashback. Wait. His name is
Hurley Burley.
His name is fucking Buckskin and Hurley Burley. And he hates children so goddamn much.
Smell that it's... Well, I guess they would have seen him
Let's say he
poke
hates
hat.
kids. Like, he was happily married back in old Virginia or whatever, fucking like New Hampshire or Rhode Island or something.
Good man.
You know what I mean? In the colonies. I mean, it's America at this point. But
Colonies.
his wife wanted kids, and he didn't. And she eventually cheated on him with someone else.
That is so sad. But I think all those cowboys probably had 15 bastard children and didn't
Probably
care.
true. Let's just say he really hates kids and he's hanging on just for the fuck of it.
Okay.
'Cause it's
What's he
fun.
gonna do though? Like, what is his option?
Like,
I think even if you took like a revolver and shot it point blank against like, say, the glass that the driver looks out of.
they didn't have any TNT. Now
Could they figure out how to open the engine hatch? It's the only.
you can't do it from the outside.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a stupid design.
They have no way in there. The only way in there they could maybe have is, I mean, maybe if they point blank like shot the glass that the driver looks out of, Shaniqua's dead.
I don't even think that would be the case, honestly.
You don't even think they could? Yeah,
I think that would hold up to small arms fire, probably.
Yeah, even point
We
blank.
could roll it, but like, I think it
Yeah.
would be fine.
I mean, yeah. So the Cowboys are kind of at an impasse here.
Yeah, the one
They,
Buckskin and Hurney Gurney.
I guess it really comes down to the range that machine gun had, that they were able to.
And when they run out of diesel
That's true.
or fuel.
But so do you think then now the question has become, can they kill them all with the turret before they run out of diesel? They got like, say there's 13 Cowboys left.
They're all way back down the road.
They're all way back down the road.
But they have their horses.
They would have, yeah. They can come back out or the tank can go to them. Can the kids realize that the clock is ticking and they need to just start taking them out before the diesel runs out?
Mm.
And do you think they could?
Can they get back in the machine gun and do it?
It would be risky. It would be really risky. Because they'd have to reload it. And Dennis is probably dead by now.
I feel like
Or past that.
let's say Dennis is gone. He's gone. So that also really fucks with him.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like the Halo Reach.
Survive for
Survive.
the Cowboys or for the kids? Yeah.
And then they're
But to
transferred
survive,
back.
they need to kill them before they run out of gas, or else they're just done.
Yeah.
Then it's a war of attrition, which the Cowboys win, because as established, jerky, beans, and
Yeah.
wrestling up rabbits.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so attached to these kids now.
You don't want to see them
I don't
go?
want to see them die.
Honestly, at this point, I don't really know what... Well, answer the question. Do you think that they, without Dennis, could they kill the rest of them?
Could they kill the rest of them?
The rest of the Cowboys before the diesel runs out? I don't know if they could.
I think they could get away at this point, but I don't think they could go back and kill all of them.
Yeah. Getting away is not a victory. So, it ends with not a triumphant,
Not a
not
bang, but a whimper.
not a bang, but a whimper.
Not a Bang energy drink. But
Not a Bang energy drink that the one kid from the pad home probably was drinking way too
Kevin
young.
was drinking.
But, a limp dick
From the
whimper.
age of 7 years old.
Mm-hmm. He nursed
And also the gamer kid, Aiden. Is
the
also
gamer
drinking
kid.
that.
He likes Arizona's.
No, he's drinking like fucking
His parents let him drink wine even though he's only 14. It's like kind of cool.
Damn, Aiden is so cool.
He is.
Do you think you can give me wine?
Like, no, not you. You're not cool enough. Well, yeah, there we have it.
So what do you call that? Like a
Uh-huh.
victory for the Cowboys?
I think very slim, very marginal, very, I guess, like war of attrition victory for the Cowboys eventually. Because with Dennis down and just without the machine gun and just the gun, I don't know if they're taking out all the Cowboys.
I think they could get away from them again and then get back in the turret. Or now they know how to use the actual cannon.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So they would have to stay, I think at this point they would stay like in the big flat area, let's say that they're...
Yeah.
I think they could stay there and...
That's true. They could stay in that big flat area and just bombard the hell out of them. And actually that might eventually...
No, that would eventually work. Let's say Wild Bill, even though he hates children because of...
his weird New England wife.
Virginia...
That cucked him.
Suppleberry. I don't fucking know, dog.
she didn't take his last name. It was never going to work to begin with.
Exactly. He didn't take the Garney name. That name's been...
The lore of these Cowboys. How are you more attached to the kids after hearing that?
Because Cowboys seem more bloodthirsty.
They are definitely more bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It seems like the...
Yeah, I guess now the kids can kind of just hang back
kids
and
are fine.
bombard the
They can guard them. They can get back in the machine gun if they really need to. But I feel like if they stay in the open area, there's nothing the Cowboys do.
Yeah.
So I almost call it like a draw or like...
No, there can't be a draw, Eric. That's not content. We got to decide a winner.
A winner?
Yes.
Then I say the winner is the kids.
Yeah, okay.
I think they could... Wild Bill gets flung off. He's completely deaf. Or something like that.
Wild Bill is... He gets turned into a fine red paste as they back up over him. On accident, probably.
Yeah, they just go back and forth. They can get him off.
Yeah, and then...
the tank is spinning. It's going back and forth.
It's like the body is spinning in one direction and then the turret is spinning in the other direction. And then once he's taken care of, all they have to do is just like bombard the ever-loving hell out of it.
They don't have to get out of the damn thing. They can just keep firing cannons at it.
So ultimately...
And even without... I'm not sure if you can fire the tank. You need it to be running. But like...
Ultimately, the Cowboys ambush was their downfall.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Well, it was the only thing they could do. They had the advantage of like knowing the terrain and stuff.
I suppose. They really needed to capitalize on the hatch being open, I think.
Yeah.
And they weren't able to do that. With the range of that dang 50 cal. Well, now you know, if you were ever wondering who would win in a very passionate fight between 25 of the meanest, stinkiest, roughest, humblest Cowboys.
To ever scourge the earth.
Or some Zoomers in a piece of giant military equipment that their parents' taxes paid for.
Who are surprisingly knowledgeable about tourniquets.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I love to see this generation getting more resistant to bullet wounds. They say kids these days are too sensitive.
Yeah, we should have factored in the ceramic plates in the backpacks. Have you heard of that? It's a real product, though.
Sad but true. Anyways, the sun sets on another day in Platypus World. Look out for the rest of Season 1, where we'll be discussing all sorts of dumbass hypotheticals, and we got a lot of good ones that we're excited about.
Like Vin Diesel Battle Royale.
Vin Diesel making Christian? Out, I mean, sweaty, I mean, stink, I
Rule
mean,
34,
fart, anyway.
Christian Bale's characters in all of his movies competing against one another in a game of Survivor.
Well, like we say at the end of every episode of Platypus World, I love you.
Bye.